What's up, Takers? It's Tyler. Welcome back to Ty's Take Today Live. So you may have seen our conversation with Detroit mayoral candidate Jonathan Barlow. So now we're diving into part two. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics and things, so stay tuned for that conversation.
And so I don't want to in any way, shape, or form dismiss how anyone feels. But there is, and I'm famous for it, being able to laugh 1 second and be able to be serious the next. And so with the incident that took place, we're going to do a few more interviews about it. But I want to give you some details that many might not know and might not be able to put the pieces together. And so this was definitely a learning experience in which that I don't want to dismiss anything that might be felt or be experienced on their end. But I feel that it's to a degree malicious and egregious amongst many more things to really go on the offensive and attack only because you want to feed into this sensationalized society. And I believe real people will see right through everything that's going on, but I don't want to ever take a learning experience, especially one that I have, and not turn it into a movement. If you can't take a moment and turn it into a movement, it's such a time like this, then or a mistake and turn it into a movement, then you're not learning. And so what I really want to do is make sure I push forward what we started 2 months ago, which is onevibe.org. That's been my plan ever since starting this campaign, is to ensure that people feel safe when they come to the city. And now I'm the poster child for it, right? Does Detroit want someone to really protect them? And I will say this, those ladies got home safely that night. We've never seen a broken device. And ultimately, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I take care of any woman, any child, any youth, any senior, any vet, as though they're on my own family. I don't subscribe to violence. I preach as much non-violence as Dr. King did. That's where my grandmother grew up at, with Rosa Parks in the civil rights movement, with the bus boycott. She was a dispatcher. We're all about providing mobility as a family for those who are underserved. Nobody said anything when I was sitting on Gratiot the other day, and the baby after the fireworks was down there. Well, a lady was down there carrying her baby on her chest, on one of those straps, after the fireworks, and she was waiting on a bus, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. She'd been waiting for an hour. Nobody came and video camera me then, or even wanted to see who was getting home safely that night. So I think I have somewhat of an issue, and it somewhat gets me kind of excited to know that I have the perfect opportunity to shine light on people that normally don't get a chance to speak up for themselves. And if these ladies, as much an exaggerated story that they might have put out there and kind of created a false narrative, is as much as these ladies have done, we all have the opportunity to turn that narrative into something positive for the community. They're all right, I'm all right, everything's good. I'm going to keep on getting attacked by fake accounts on social media. I don't care about that. What I care about is us saving the next child, us making sure that the next young lady that has a flat tire actually has someone there to help her, and if she doesn't have any money, and make sure that she has a phone charger or something like that. I can give you those type of experiences and call them up on the phone right now. So I'm not going to change what I'm doing. I'm not going to change how I pursue this mayoral office. Actually, I'm going to pursue it more because candidates have called to make sure that the news found out about this way prior to it going viral. So for me, I'm a man of integrity, a man of love, and a man of compassion, and I won't change. I'm going to be transparent and blunt about every last action that I not only make and decide as an individual, but as a leader, and one day as your mayor.
Absolutely. So now we've heard their side of the story. We've seen the videos. We've seen people commenting on social media. I know you mentioned to Bridge Detroit about, in a sense, maybe you should have just walked away. at a certain point. So back to that night, is there anything that you would have done differently? I know you were just making conversation. It was a busy day for you with several events and campaign events and gatherings. Was there anything that you would do differently?
Well, part of the problem down here in downtown is little to no parking. And when one lot fills up that's dedicated to or for a certain venue, the overflow puts people in a disposition. I know that very well because I've been, again, working with nightclub owners, lounges, liquor stores in order to not only help their businesses out over the course of time, but also, as of course, recently, like I mentioned, try to create a onevibe.org campaign in order to create safe nights and safe spaces. We're actually hosting an event next week with a live Q&A. Hopefully you can attend, Tyler, because what we want to do is really start to have an engaging conversation about this. We don't want this to stop here in a negative light, as if the Detroit has the bad boy now and he doesn't need to be mayor. We want to create the bad boy turns into a championship win for the city. And that's what we're going for. And so what I want to share that night is simply that there are some mistruths in the situation. All right, let's be honest about it. I could not and would not walk a mile with anyone campaigning that long because I don't think it's efficient of my time. And so a mile from this location, heading that way in which we were headed, puts us on the other side of the Renaissance building.
Right, and as you guys can see, we're kind of giving you guys the layout
and the issue that I'm
visually.
The issue that I'm having is that I never would have left my car, even though it was being watched and attended by my guests who were with me, which Bridge Detroit failed to put in the article. I have their contact if you want to interview them anonymously, because that was my detail at the time. They were watching my car, but in a separate car. We had moved a few cars around in the parking lot. I hopped out, greeted the young ladies, tried to approach them with a flyer. I'm always cautious of how you approach individuals. Think this, I've been door knocking for 6 months straight. I know that everybody has had some type of hesitation nowadays in this day of time, especially after COVID, of how close and how much you get in people's space. So I'm always real cautious. So I always try to lead with, I'm just trying to give you a flyer, because I'm running for mayor. Because I'm a young guy and people really haven't heard about me and all my work has been behind the scenes, people really don't get what I'm saying at first, and it's shocking to them. Because it's like, who is this guy talking about he's running for mayor? And so I can understand any hesitation there. They needed to get more familiar. But the young lady asked me to take a video of her.
And handed her phone to you.
Yeah, no, she didn't even have her phone to me. I was with my phone already in this hand, and I had a flyer. I was pulling out a flyer in this hand. By that time, she asked me to she's walking, she said, you can take a video of me. I said, all right. So we go ahead and start taking video. By that time, a few of the young ladies started to come back. Well, the one leading the pack, and some kept on walking. The one leading the pack was quickly running and pretty much shielding me from in her space, already getting into my space and touching me and saying, why is it? No, not saying why is it, but saying she don't want you, leave us alone. Well, I asked, which they did say, I asked, are they married or something? Because I wouldn't want my wife being greeted by any other man out in public, and I can see that as an offense. And so I didn't want that perception. So that's when I'm probably asked that question, because I'm very cognizant of who has social relationships, and I never want to offend anybody. And so the incident happened no further than a few, maybe that intersection right there, that first intersection, really no further than that white truck would I have walked, because I couldn't leave my car wide open. Actually, my guest and my witness, they pretty much told me somebody walked up to my car and they had to get out and stop him, and thank God I had detail. So what they're not realizing is I'm only trying to stop for a second, but I don't want to leave a bad impression. I don't want to be that guy who you all, because the lady, when initially running up, took out her phone and said, well, I'm going to put you on TikTok if you don't stop. Well, I don't want to feel like I gave up on helping people engage in voting just because she misunderstood the engagement because she wasn't here initially. And so things escalated by the time we got halfway up the block in terms of what they had bumped into and grabbed my phone. They had bumped into her phone and she felt that I was harassing her when I was really trying to protect her from her girl running back up after she had grabbed my phone. And it got a little chaotic, but get this, I've been in the most fights, the most bar fights that are in terms of being able to be a peacemaker. Anytime I see security running this, that, and the other, I'm looking for the owner, I'm looking for the ladies, I'm trying to make space and make sure they create an environment. But as far as this, I'm all about safe routes. And you gotta also imagine that this is somewhat a dark street. You got bushes over here that aren't trimmed or cut. You have other things, and this is what we're talking about, safe routes. And why they went to this venue and parked all the way down there was very odd to me. And so that's part of the reason why I'm saying, well, listen, I'm a mayoral candidate. Maybe y'all don't like me. Maybe you all think I'm trying to get on, but at least have a safe night. Y'all got a dark street, have a safe night. And that's how I left the situation. And so I don't want to overtalk it. I do feel, and I do have a plan, which is on onevibe.org. We're giving out hotline numbers to make sure everybody's able to really have safe nights, have safe routes and safe spaces. But we don't want to belabor the moment for this. We want to create a win. We want to create an enormous win for the city in which we don't keep the we don't keep the conversation here. We start to move the conversation to solutions such as conflict resolution, preventive measures for better parking at venues downtown for citizens and for those visiting, but more so to make sure that people create a more village, Southern hospitality feel. We can't be a city that totally shuts down because of society's norms. Just because a man approaches you these days, does that mean that he wants to marry you tonight? Not at all. It's definitely not for me. It's definitely not for most men that I know. And so we have to do a good job at men being more gentlemen out here so that women are more open to them approaching them without feeling offended or fearful. And we have to do a better job as a community to just spread the word that we're in this together, because I'm going to treat you like my family and you go treat me like your family, and we're not going to fight with each other. And that's what we can't have, is a leader that represents something that they're claiming me to have been a part of versus a leader that's willing to step up, lean into it, and learn from any mistakes that he might have had in terms of perception, but be able to correct it from a very practical solution pathway and be able to cure something in the community that might have been ailing us for years.
All right, so Jonathan, lastly, I know you had mentioned a event that's coming up in the community, so I want to talk a little bit or just let everybody know about that upcoming event, where they can connect with you and find out more about your platform. And then lastly, my last in-depth question is for those voters out there, residents, business owners in the city of Detroit, for those that may have seen the video the past couple of days, what is, and may be reconsidering who they may be voting for the next mayor of Detroit, what is your message to them? And, I know you spoke a lot about taking this situation and focusing on making sure females and people overall feel safe in the city, having clear pathways, not littered streets with broken glass and bottles. So what would be your message for people that may have came across that video the past couple of days?
Well, first of all, the event next week, we're planning it for Tuesday. Possibly might shift it to Wednesday, but Tuesday for right now, 6 o'clock. We plan on being in the Eastern Market or off of East Grand Boulevard. We'll give details via our social medias. It will be on onevibe.org. That's the number onevibe.org. But more importantly, the reason why I'm doing these interviews, and I can't say this enough, I believe in transparency. I believe in accountability. I believe more and more that we should find where we're weak at and become stronger. And when we have an opportunity to show someone else how mistakes can turn into triumphs and wins, then hopefully, what up, fellas? Hopefully we reach the potential that we always look for. This is what I'm facing, a society construct issue along with the political spectrum and the political landscape that has caused misinformation to go from international to DC all the way, and it's hit here in Detroit. We don't need we don't want to be famous for these things, but we can be famous for the solutions. And the solution is this: we learn from our mistakes and we move forward. And beyond everything, we respect one another. We don't engage in violent activity, and we practice what we preach. And so I don't want to ever have anyone feel that I'm not grateful for their support, because in this time, over the last 72 hours, my supporters have stepped up. They've stepped up in an enormous way. And for the people who did not know me, they're getting to know me because they're not looking at this incident. They're looking at the videos on top of videos. And that's why I did 20 plus podcast videos along the course of this last 6 months, because I want to talk to everybody and let people know who I am before they start to judge me based off of one small snippet or one small soundbite. And so thank you to my supporters. Thank you to my volunteers. If you're nervous, go ahead, take a deep breath. Go ahead, get a glass of water, get you some lemonade because it might be hot. But this is going to be a ride for the next 30 days. And we actually are going to win this thing. We're actually going to turn this somewhat false narrative and this mistake that I've learned from in terms of engaging and being without full-blown security. And we're going to turn it into something that the world has never seen before. The reason why is because my grandfather, he was one of the best advocates for women. He was able to put women in a pulpit long before any other pastor. He still gets talked about to this day. He's dead, but they still talk about him to this day because he put women in a pulpit. Well, guess what? I'm not going to let this stop my family's legacy. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to do something that's never been done before. And I'm going to make sure that all men start to make sure that they broadcast and show how much we can be gentlemen and protect our women and start to recreate family again. Because if we can do that, relationships and generations to come will win because of it.
Absolutely. John Barlow, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be sure to put all of the events information in your social media where people can stay up to date with you on our social media platforms. So reporting right here, this has been Tides Take Today Live.